Every relationship begins like a dream. Two strangers meet, something sparks, and suddenly life feels brighter. Messages light up your phone, late night talks stretch until sunrise, and even silence feels comfortable when you're together. In those early days, everything feels magical. Psychologists call this the honeymoon phase. Your brain is flooded with dopamine, the same chemical that makes winning the lottery feel euphoric. Add oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and adrenaline, and you feel unstoppable. That's why, in the beginning, love feels like forever. You overlook flaws, you forgive mistakes, you convince yourself that this time it's different. This time it will last. But here lies the first painful truth about why so many relationships fail. The honeymoon phase is not real forever, it is a season. And when that season ends, most couples don't know what to do next. Because reality always shows up. The same little habits you once thought were cute now irritate you. The endless calls start to feel less exciting. Instead of butterflies, you feel, and suddenly doubt enters the room. You ask yourself, why doesn't it feel the same anymore? Did I make a mistake? Is this really love, or was it only an illusion? This is what psychologists call the disillusionment stage. It's when the fantasy fades and the real person, their flaws, their moods, their imperfections, comes into view. But here's the tragedy. So many couples confuse the end of the honeymoon phase with the end of love. They believe if I don't feel the fire anymore, it must mean the love is gone. And that belief destroys more relationships than betrayal, distance, or even arguments. Because love was never meant to stay in that high forever. The butterflies were just the introduction, not the whole story. Real love begins after the butterflies fade. Real love begins when you see the imperfections and choose them anyway. The illusion of forever, that belief that love should always feel like it did in the beginning, is the first silent killer of relationships. Because when people start comparing today's reality with yesterday's spark, they don't see growth, they only see loss. They forget that love is not supposed to stay the same, it's supposed to evolve. The truth is, every couple faces this moment. Some survive it, most don't stay. And that's why the first reason relationships fail is not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of understanding. When the fire cools, too many people walk away searching for that spark again, only to repeat the same cycle with someone new. They never learn that the fading of infatuation is not the death of love. It is the doorway to something deeper, something stronger, something real. Here sets a painful truth most people never see coming. Relationships don't usually break because of a single fight, a single mistake, or even a single betrayal. They break because of distance that grows slowly, silently, and almost invisibly. At first, it's up small. The conversations that used to last hours shrink to minutes. The laughter that once echoed in the room gets replaced by silence. You stop sharing your dreams. You stop sharing your fears. Eventually, you even stop sharing your day. Psychologists call this emotional disengagement. It doesn't happen overnight. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it at first, but little by little, the air drains out until one day you realize the relationship can't move forward anymore. And here's the hardest part. Most couples don't even notice it's happening. They mistake silence for peace. They think, at least we stir not fighting. But silence is not peace. It's distance. And distance kills love faster than anger ever could. The second reason relationships fail is not always conflict. It's neglect. Let me explain. Every human being has three core needs in a relationship: to feel seen, to feel heard, and to feel valued. When those needs are not met, the heart begins to close. You may still live together, eat together, sleep in the same bed, but emotionally, you feel alone. That's why so many people say, I felt loneliest when I was with my partner. It's not that they didn't have someone next to them, it's that the person next to them stopped truly seeing them. And slowly, love begins to fade. Not because of betrayal, not because of anger, but because of absence, the absence of connection. Think about it. When was the last time you looked at your partner and really listened? When was the last time you asked, how are you really doing? When was the last time you celebrated their little victories or comforted their little pains? We assume love is about the big moments, the proposals, the anniversaries, the vacations. But psychology shows us love survives on the small daily moments. A gentle touch on the shoulder, a text that says, I'm thinking of you, a real conversation without distractions. When those small moments disappear, the bond begins to starve. And like anything starved for too long, it dies. The silent distance, this slow drifting apart, is one of the most common and most heartbreaking reasons relationships, not because the love wasn't set real, not because the feelings were gone, but because no one noticed the quiet emptiness growing between them. And by the time they did, it was too late. Every person walks into a relationship carrying a story. Some carry joy and hope, but many of us carry wounds, wounds from childhood, from past relationships, from betrayals, from times when love broke us instead of building us. And here sets the truth. Psychology makes clear. If we don't heal those wounds, we don't leave them behind, we carry them forward. We bleed on people who never cut us. This is the third reason relationships fail: unhealed wounds and unresolved pain. Maybe you were abandoned as a child, so now every time your partner doesn't call back, you feel rejected. Maybe you were cheated on before, so now you live in constant suspicion, even when your new partner has done nothing wrong. Maybe you grew up in a home where love was conditional, so now you're terrified of not being good enough. These wounds create patterns, patterns of jealousy, patterns of control, patterns of fear. And instead of loving freely, we love anxiously. We test, we doubt, we push away the very person we want to hold close. And here's the tragedy. Often, it's not the partner who causes the pain. It's the past speaking through the present. Couple psychology calls this attachment wounds. And unless they're faced, spoken about, and healed, they poison the bond. Think about it. If your heart is full of scars, how can it fully open? If your soul still carries old battles, how can it fully trust? Relationships fail not just because of what happens between two people, but because of what each person still carries inside themselves. That's why healing is not optional, it's essential. A strong relationship isn't two perfect people coming together, it's two imperfect people aware of their wounds, willing to heal, and choosing to grow together. But when partners ignore their inner pain, they end up fighting shadows. They punish each other for old mistakes they never made. They confuse love with fear, closeness with danger, trust with risk. And slowly, love collapses under the weight of old wounds. So remember this: until we heal what hurt us, we will keep hurting what we love. And that is why so many relationships fail, not because there was set love, but because there was set healing. At the end of the day, relationships don't survive on luck. They survive on choice. The truth is, love isn't something that magically sustains itself. It's not a fairy tale that runs forever once the story begins. Love is a verb. Love is action. Love is the daily decision to keep showing up, even when it's hard. And this is the fourth and final reason relationships fail. People stop choosing each other. In the beginning, effort comes easy. You send sweet texts, you plan surprises, you listen with patience, you fight, but you also fight for each other. But with time, effort fades. The good morning texts stop, the compliments disappear. The listening turns into half attention while scrolling through a phone. The relationship becomes background noise instead of a priority. Slowly, both partners start to feel invisible. Not unloved, but unchosen. And being unchosen, day after day, is one of the deepest pains a human heart can feel. Couple psychology shows us this truth. Love doesn't just die because of conflict, it dies because of neglect. It dies because people stop feeding it. Think of a fire. If you stop adding wood, the fire doesn't explode, it just quietly burns out. That's how love ends. Not always with betrayal, not always with screaming, but with silence, routine, and neglect. But here sits the most powerful part. If neglect destroys love, then effort can rebuild it. Every single day, love asks a question: will you choose me again? Relationships fail when the answer becomes silence. Relationships survive when the answer is yes, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when the butterflies are gone. So, why do relationships fail? Not because people don't set love, not because love is not real, but because somewhere along the way, they stop choosing each other. And the most painful truth, by the time they realize what they said lost, it's often too late. So now you know the four hidden truths behind why relationships fail: the illusion of forever, the silent distance, the unhealed wounds, the final choice. But here's the hope I want to leave with you: relationships don't have to fail. Love is fragile, yes, but it's also powerful. If you water it, it grows. If you nurture it, it thrives. If you choose it daily, it lasts. So tonight, don't just hear these words, live them. Send that message, hold that hand, speak that apology, notice that smile, because love is not kept alive by chance, it's kept alive by choice. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Psychology School. And I want to hear from you. In your experience, what is the biggest reason relationships? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because your words might be the exact truth someone else needs to hear today. This is Psychology School, and together we saw learning how to not just love, but to love better.
And I know, and I know.
Welcome and thank you for joining this quiet, practical conversation about vision and aging. Have you ever noticed that small changes in your eyesight arrive slowly, almost politely, until one day the words on the page blur or the contrast of a face fades into fog? Vision loss in later life rarely arrives as a single dramatic event. It's the accumulation of tiny stresses on the retina, the macula, and the delicate microvessels that feed them. That accumulation is what we can influence with wise daily choices, and one of the simplest, most underappreciated tools is the humble seed. Here's a surprising truth many people miss. Protecting your eyes isn't only about sunglasses or screens. It's about providing the retina with the specific nutrients it needs to resist oxidative stress, support cell membranes, and preserve microcirculation. Your retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body. It consumes oxygen and energy at rates rivaling the brain. Over decades, oxidative damage, poor blood flow, and low-grade inflammation wear away at the macula and retinal cells. What's happening in your body is not random. It's a cascade of biochemical events that respond to what you eat, how you sleep, and how you move. Your body is designed to heal itself, but it needs the right raw materials to do so. In this talk, I'll show you 4 seeds that work with your physiology to protect the retina and support visual longevity. These seeds are small, affordable, and easy to add to breakfast, salads, or smoothies, yet they deliver concentrated nutrients, anti-inflammatory fats, zinc and magnesium for microvascular health, vitamin E to protect membranes, and precursors that support the carotenoids your retina relies on. I'll also explain why seed-based nutrients behave differently than isolated pills. Whole food matrices provide cofactors, slow-release absorption, and synergy that help your body use these nutrients where they're needed most. Will gently challenge some mainstream misconceptions. For example, many people assume that getting omega-3 from seeds is equivalent to getting DHA from fish oil. The conversion of plant-based ALA to DHA is limited, especially with age, but seeds still offer meaningful benefits when combined with other dietary strategies. Another common mistake is thinking that piling on single antioxidant supplements will protect the eyes. In reality, megadoses can disrupt antioxidant networks and ignore the importance of improving blood flow and reducing inflammation systemically. You don't need to fight your body, just understand it. You'll learn practical, evidence-informed protocols you can start immediately, how to incorporate ground seeds for better absorption, why combining seeds with a small amount of healthy fat improves carotenoid uptake, and which simple sleep and light habits enhance retinal repair overnight. I'll give real-life examples tailored to older adults, tasty, realistic swaps that fit a senior's routine and digestive needs. By the end, you'll understand not only which 4 seeds to prioritize, but how to use them in ways that truly move the needle on retinal resilience. If you care about sleeping deeper, healing faster, and aging with energy, make sure to watch until the end and subscribe so you don't miss the natural wisdom your body is craving. Our eyes are not passive windows. They are living tissue wired directly into your nervous system, constantly regenerating and constantly at risk of damage from light, oxidative stress, and nutrient depletion. When you think of your vision, it helps to remember that the retina is essentially an extension of the brain. Like the brain, it is rich in delicate fats, vulnerable to oxidation, and dependent on steady blood supply. When you think about the most energy-hungry organs in your body, your brain usually comes to mind. But what most people don't realize is that your eyes, specifically the retina, are among the hungriest tissues in your entire body. The retina is a delicate sheet of tissue lining the back of your eye, packed with millions of photoreceptor cells that are constantly converting light into signals your brain can interpret. These cells are literally firing every second you are awake, and even while you sleep, the retina is still metabolically active. That means it is constantly burning through nutrients, oxygen, and antioxidants at a rate that would surprise most people. Now here's the key insight. Because the retina is so metabolically demanding, it is also uniquely vulnerable to damage. Free radicals, the unstable molecules that build up as byproducts of oxygen use, can accumulate here faster than in many other parts of your body. And when oxidative stress overwhelms the retina, the first signs are often blurry vision, difficulty adjusting to low light, or in more serious cases, the slow development of age-related macular degeneration. This isn't simply a matter of aging eyes as we've been told, it's about whether or not your retina is receiving the protection it needs. The body has built-in defense systems, but these depend entirely on the nutrients you provide through your diet. Your retina is rich in specialized pigments and antioxidants that act like shields, absorbing excess light and neutralizing free radicals before they can cause damage. Lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin E, and omega-3 fatty acids are among the most important. Without steady replenishment, those defenses weaken. Imagine a medieval fortress where the guards haven't been fed, the walls haven't been repaired, and the gates are left unguarded. That's essentially what happens to your eyes when you don't give them the nutrition they require. This is where seeds come in as an unexpected but powerful ally. Flax seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, and pumpkin seeds are tiny nutrient-dense packages designed by nature to give life. They contain concentrated doses of the very compounds your retina craves. Unlike supplements that can sometimes overload the body in unnatural ways, seeds deliver nutrition in a whole food matrix that your body can absorb gradually and use efficiently. For example, sunflower seeds are rich in vitamin E. This fat-soluble antioxidant is crucial for protecting the fatty membranes of retinal cells, which are especially vulnerable to oxidative damage. Clinical research has shown that vitamin E intake correlates with lower risk of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration. But the key is bioavailability. Your body absorbs vitamin E best when consumed with natural fats, something that seeds already provide in perfect balance. Pumpkin seeds, on the other hand, are remarkable for their zinc content. Zinc is not often thought of as an eye nutrient, yet it is absolutely essential. Without zinc, vitamin A cannot be properly transported from your liver into your retina. And vitamin A, of course, is what allows you to see in dim light and produce protective pigments. A deficiency in zinc is one of the silent factors behind poor night vision and increased susceptibility to retinal damage. Flax seeds and chia seeds contribute in a different but equally vital way. They are packed with plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, primarily ALA, which your body can convert into EPA and DHA. These fatty acids are essential for reducing inflammation in the tiny capillaries that feed your retina. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the drivers of microvascular damage that eventually weakens vision over time. By supporting healthy blood flow and lowering inflammatory signals, omega-3C create an environment where the retina can thrive instead of struggle. Think about it this way. Every time you blink, your eye is refreshed with nutrients delivered through the bloodstream. If your diet is rich in protective compounds, every blink is a microdose of healing. If your diet is lacking, every blink is simply another missed opportunity for repair. Over years, that difference accumulates into either resilient, clear vision or the gradual decline that so many accept as inevitable. One practical protocol I often suggest is simple. Include a tablespoon of mixed seeds in your meals daily. You can sprinkle chia seeds on your morning oatmeal, add pumpkin seeds to a salad, or use ground flax seeds in a smoothie. These small actions consistently nourish the retina's defenses. Timing matters too. Eating seeds with your main meal ensures better absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin E and carotenoids. What's happening in your body when you do this is remarkable. The antioxidants from sunflower seeds are rushing to neutralize free radicals in the retina. The zinc from pumpkin seeds is actively shuttling vitamin A into the eye. The omega-3s from flax and chia are calming inflammation and protecting fragile vessels. And all of these actions are happening simultaneously in harmony with each bite you take. Your body is designed to heal itself. Your eyes are not exceptions. The question is whether you are giving them the raw materials to do what they are built to do. By feeding your retina with these nutrient-dense seeds, you are not just preserving vision, you are extending the vitality of one of the most precious senses you have. If this is helping you see your health in a new light, tap the like button. It helps this message reach more people who need to understand that aging does not have to mean losing vision. And make sure you subscribe, because what we're uncovering here is only the beginning of the natural wisdom your body has been waiting for. One of the most overlooked truths in eye health is that your retina is built from fat. In fact, the membranes of your photoreceptor cells are unusually rich in a specific kind of fat, DHA, a long-chain omega-3 fatty acid. Without it, these delicate cells cannot function properly. They lose their fluidity, their ability to transmit signals slows, and over time, the communication between your eyes and your brain begins to falter. This is not a small detail. It is one of the central reasons why diets deficient in omega-3s are directly linked to poor visual function and higher risk of retinal disease. Now here's where the story becomes both fascinating and empowering. DHA does not just sit in your retinal cells like a structural building block. It is active. It influences the way light is converted into electrical signals, the way inflammation is controlled inside the eye, and even the way your retina recovers from stress. Scientists have found that people with higher omega-3 intake tend to have thicker macular pigment, a protective layer in the central retina that guards against damaging blue light and oxidative stress. In other words, these fats literally strengthen the shield protecting your vision. But here's the challenge. Your body cannot make omega-3 fatty acids on its own. They are essential nutrients, which means you must obtain them through food. And while fatty fish is often highlighted as the primary source, seeds such as flax and chia provide a unique advantage. They contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based precursor to DHA. While your body converts ALA into DHA at a modest rate, the steady intake from seeds can make a real difference, especially when combined with other nutrient-dense foods. Imagine your retina like a camera lens constantly exposed to the environment. Every time light enters, oxidative stress increases. Without a protective layer of omega-3 sess, it's like using a fragile lens with no filter. Scratches and distortions build up over time. With consistent omega-3 intake, that lens is strengthened, shielded, and capable of processing light without damage. This is why omega-3 sess are not optional. They are foundational to how your eyes age. There's another piece here that most people never hear about: inflammation. Your retina is fed by some of the smallest and most fragile blood vessels in the human body. When chronic inflammation sets in, driven by poor diet, excess sugar, or lack of key nutrients, these vessels stiffen, leak, and eventually starve the retina of oxygen and nutrients. That is one of the pathways behind diabetic retinopathy, macular degeneration, and other degenerative eye conditions. Omega-3 fatty acids directly counter this. They generate specialized molecules called resolvins and protectants that calm inflammation and promote healing at the microscopic level. Think of them as peacekeepers patrolling the fragile blood vessels in your eyes, ensuring balance and repair instead of damage and chaos. Seeds make this practical. Chia seeds, for example, contain about 5 grams of ALA per ounce, an extraordinary amount for such a tiny food. Flax seeds are similar, but they also come with lignans, natural plant compounds that add additional antioxidant benefits. The beauty of these foods is that they can be integrated seamlessly into daily life without requiring radical dietary changes. Stir them into yogurt, mix them into soups, or bake them into whole grain breads. Each serving becomes a silent act of protection for your eyes. Research has confirmed the impact. A large observational study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that individuals with higher omega-3 intake had significantly lower rates of age-related macular degeneration. Another clinical trial revealed that omega-3 supplementation improved visual function in patients already showing signs of retinal decline. What's important is that the mechanism is always the same. Omega-3s are rebuilding, protecting, and soothing the retina from within. For seniors, this is particularly relevant. As we age, not only do our retinas accumulate more oxidative stress, but our efficiency at converting ALA to DHA also declines. This means consistency matters even more. A tablespoon of ground flaxseed each day, or a scoop of chia seeds soaked overnight in water becomes less of a superfood trend and more of a long-term strategy for maintaining vision clarity into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. A simple protocol here is to combine plant omega-3s with healthy fats from foods like avocado or olive oil. Why? because fats help improve the absorption of fat-soluble nutrients. If you sprinkle chia seeds onto a salad dressed with olive oil, you are creating the perfect environment for your body to extract and use the ALA effectively. If you mix flaxseed into a smoothie with coconut milk, you are supporting conversion into DHA. These are the little details that transform a healthy habit into a healing protocol. What's happening in your body is elegant. The ALA from seeds enters your bloodstream. Your liver begins converting it into EPA and DHA. Those molecules travel through circulation and enrich the membranes of your retinal cells. As they integrate, they improve the cell's ability to process light, regulate inflammation, and withstand oxidative stress. Slowly, over weeks and months, your vision feels sharper, your eyes feel less strained, and the long-term risk of degenerative disease drops. Your body is not failing with age. It is simply responding to the materials you provide. Feed it poor quality fats, and your retina becomes brittle. Feed it nourishing omega-3s, and your retina remains resilient. This is the choice we make every single day at the dinner table. If this resonates with you, I invite you to press the like button. It helps us reach more people who deserve to know that protecting vision does not have to be complicated. It begins with foods as humble and powerful as seeds. And don't forget to subscribe, because we are just scratching the surface of how your body can defend itself naturally. Every time you open your eyes, light enters and strikes the retina. This is both beautiful and dangerous. Light allows you to see, but it also generates free radicals, tiny sparks of oxidative stress that, if uncontrolled, can slowly erode the delicate tissues of your eye. Think of it as sunlight fading a painting over time. Your body has its own defense system against this process, and antioxidants are at the heart of it. Among them, vitamin E and carotenoids play a central role, and seeds are one of nature's most efficient delivery systems. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant. That means it works inside the fatty layers of your cells, exactly where your retina is most vulnerable. The membranes of retinal cells are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which are highly prone to oxidative damage. Without vitamin E, these fats become oxidized, breaking down into toxic byproducts that accelerate aging and damage visual clarity. But with sufficient vitamin E, your retina gains a shield. Vitamin E neutralizes those free radicals before they can harm the very cells that allow you to see. What's fascinating is how seeds concentrate this nutrient. Sunflower seeds, for example, are among the richest natural sources of vitamin E on the planet. Just a small handful provides more than half of your daily requirement. When you eat them consistently, you are essentially bathing your retina in antioxidant protection. It's like applying sunscreen from the inside out, not to your skin, but to the very light-sensitive cells in your eyes. Carotenoids such as lutein and zeaxanthin work hand in hand with vitamin E. These pigments are naturally found in pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds, and they accumulate in the macula, the central part of your retina, responsible for sharp, detailed vision. When you look at a face, read a book, or watch a screen, it is your macula doing most of the work. Carotenoids serve as internal sunglasses for this critical region, filtering harmful blue light and reducing glare. If you have ever felt your eyes tire after staring at a digital screen, that is partly because your macula's natural filter was overwhelmed. By supplying your body with lutein and zeaxanthin, you reinforce this filter and extend its endurance. Research consistently validates these connections. A landmark study known as the ERA-DARES 2 trial demonstrated that people with higher intakes of lutein and zeaxanthin experience slower progression of age-related macular degeneration. Another line of studies confirmed that vitamin E supplementation reduced the rate of oxidative damage in retinal tissues. These aren't speculative ideas, they are well-established biological truths. And yet few people realize that something as simple as eating a serving of seeds daily can help achieve these protective levels naturally. Now let's step into how this works in real life. Picture your retinal cells as a city lit by thousands of tiny streetlights. These lights are constantly burning, producing both energy and waste. Vitamin E is like the city's sanitation service, sweeping up free radicals before they can cause chaos. Lutein and zeaxanthin, meanwhile, are like tinted glass, protecting the bulbs from burning out too quickly under harsh light. Together, they keep the city running smoothly. Your vision remains clear, your eyes resist strain, and long-term damage is minimized. Practical protocols make this knowledge actionable. A simple approach is to incorporate sunflower seeds as an afternoon snack, perhaps mixed with walnuts or almonds for a broader nutrient profile. For carotenoids, adding pumpkin seeds to a salad or oatmeal provides a steady source that accumulates in your retina over time. Consistency matters here because antioxidants don't act like quick painkillers. They build up gradually, strengthening your defenses week by week. For older adults, this is particularly significant. With age, your natural antioxidant defenses weaken. Glutathione levels decline, enzymes that neutralize free radicals slow down, and the retina becomes increasingly vulnerable. By supplying external antioxidants through foods, you compensate for this natural decline. That's why seniors who emphasize seeds, leafy greens, and colorful vegetables often maintain sharper vision for longer, even in the face of years of environmental stress. There's also a synergy at play. When vitamin E, lutein, and zeaxanthin are consumed together with healthy fats, their absorption increases dramatically. A salad sprinkled with sunflower seeds and dressed with olive oil becomes not just a meal, but a retinal support formula. Pumpkin seeds blended into a smoothie with avocado create the same effect. Your body is designed to take these natural combinations and amplify their impact. You don't need synthetic pills or complicated regimens. The foods themselves already hold the medicine. What's happening in your body is that vitamin E embeds itself into retinal membranes, standing guard against oxidative stress, while carotenoids accumulate in the macula, filtering light before it can do harm. This dual protection not only reduces your risk of age-related degeneration, but also improves everyday visual comfort. You'll notice less strain under bright lights, quicker recovery from glare, and sharper clarity when reading or focusing on details. Your body is designed to heal itself when given the right tools. Seeds are not exotic remedies. They are humble, affordable, and profoundly effective. Each bite is a quiet act of prevention, ensuring that your most precious sense, your vision, remains strong and reliable well into the years ahead. If this is opening your eyes, literally and figuratively, to how powerful nutrition can be, go ahead and subscribe, because there is more wisdom like this waiting, and your body deserves to be equipped with